Okay, so this is going to be episode one for the Dead Game Fighters edition of the podcast here. We are joined by Lord Knight here, who comes from a background that I'm aware of for Melee, and as well as actually way back in the day, Halo 2, which is a little interesting since at this point Halo might actually be considered a dead game. So we might actually be fulfilling the title of the podcast now. So how you doing today, man?
What's up, dude? Doing good. Chilling.
Solid. All right, so of course we have Evo coming up, so there's going to be lots of things to talk about in regards to that, as
Mm,
well as the patch coming up, which I don't think that we still have had any specific details, but I'm sure we can kind of speculate as far as what's going to happen for all of that. So I guess to start off, what do you think about the current state of the game and the characters that we're seeing? More notably, of course, probably things like Cell, Kid Buu. Android 16 kind of fell off a little bit. Looks like people kind of got over his nerf and came back to him a little bit more.
um, I don't know. I think the game's in a pretty good spot right now,
Hmm.
to be honest. Like I remember thinking before they patched the game, like all teams needed either Android 16 or Vegeta.
Uh-huh.
Oh, please ignore that. That's the garage door. It's loud
Sure.
as fuck. It's literally right under me. Uh, but yeah, I remember thinking like all teams needed
Hmm.
Vegeta or 16. It was like that extreme. Now these days, I think there's more flexibility in teams. I think you see a lot more characters being played, even though people are complaining about Cell Kibu. But
Hmm.
I only think people complain about Cell Kibu is because their synergy is like really natural
Hmm.
and it's pretty straightforward. And Cell himself is pretty easy to play.
Hmm.
On top of that, so like for example, you're talking about Cell Kibu, but like no one said anything about Bardock, who like mad people are using, and
I
I
will
think
say stuff
that's the
about
best character.
Bardock.
I think he's the best character in the game, like flat out right now.
Sure.
Uh, and like no one really complains about him. Or I guess people who are like deep in the game complain about
Hmm.
Bardock, but you don't hear like scrubs complaining about Bardock or anything.
Sure. No, that's
Um,
definitely my kryptonite. Not that I'm
yeah.
anywhere close to the level that you guys play at, but
So yeah, but I mean overall, like there's a lot more different types of team
hmm.
builds that exist now as opposed to before, which I think is good. Like a quick example would be like Summit. I think like Haptic Cash was used at Summit at the time of Summit,
Okay.
and probably if it was pre-patch, it might have been like 6 characters or something instead of like 13, 14. So I think it's pretty good.
Sure. And you
Yeah.
have so you said half the cast, but of course some of those characters was maybe one person playing them. Of course, two Piccolos with
Yeah.
Apology Man
I mean
and
that count. I
Hookkin.
mean I think that counts though. That does count.
Oh yeah, no,
Like
definitely for that.
Yeah, like they're like two Trunks players,
Hmm.
for example. But like the someone else would be like, oh, but there are 10 cells. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, it's a team game. Like he helps
Hmm.
teams, so of course we were gonna play Cell.
Sure.
There's also a lot of Bardocs. There's also a lot of Kibus. So like, it's fine. The main thing is that you get to see the more characters right now.
Definitely. And I think back, of course, when the game was kind of getting its foundation for what the meta or what the typical main characters that you would see is, it seems like as time has gone on, more and more characters have been actually put into the spotlight. As far as seeing some Majin Buus kind of come up here, seeing a little bit of Ginyu now, and
Mm,
even a lot of people picking up Tien. It seems like I'm pretty sure Chris G, I
mm.
think, picked them up, and then of course
A
Apology
bunch of
Man playing
people
them as
picked up
well.
Tian.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Apology Man playing from the start, but like that's NorCal's character, is Tian, but more people are picking him up now.
So, do you
Which is
think that
good.
that's like a typical progression? Just if you leave the game in the state that it is, people will get tired of it? You think that they just start exploring and go more in depth with the characters? Or why do you think that we start seeing more and more diversity just as the game goes on?
Because people are exploring the game. That's why. It's not that people are getting tired of certain
Hmm.
things. They're just getting to explore the game. Some characters, like you said, Ginyu, right? Ginyu is an
Hmm.
example of while I don't like
Uh
Ginyu
huh.
in the game, he's definitely a really good example of what happens when a character gets developed because
Hmm.
his basic game plan is pretty straightforward, but the way he goes about executing it has room for development. So the reason why you see Ginyu being more successful now as opposed to before everyone was like Super Dash Ginyu, that's how you beat him.
Hmm.
But now like you see when Ginyu players get to play the game, it's really, really rough
Hmm.
for people to deal with. And it's just time. Like that's literally just time is all straightforward. Like there was an interview pretty recently where I think the dev said from a player perspective,
Hmm.
I'm saying from like
Developer
I played
perspective.
fighting games for a while. I played fighting games for a long
Sure.
time. So like as a quote unquote expert, it
Uh
makes
huh.
a lot of sense to me. But like I saw a lot of newer players kind of shitting on is like Cell, for example.
Hmm.
Cell is extremely developed, right? And the dev said, and I agree with this,
Uh huh.
part of the reason why he's good is because he's so developed,
Okay.
which makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
Because he's so good, more people are going to play him, more people are going to find stuff, and it just keeps going and going and going. When someone like I used to play Trunks,
Mm-hmm.
most people don't even know how to mix up properly with Trunks, or they
Okay.
think he has no mix-ups. It's because not many people play him, so there's not a lot of people putting time to him, so he doesn't get to develop that much.
So in regards to Trunks, since obviously he has one low with his 2M specifically,
Yeah.
the mix-ups coming more from overheads with what, like the Shining Slash, and then you also have the Cyclone and all of the other stuff. So you have to really kind of have some mind games in there, also with his auto, probably crossing people up and then doing the Cyclone backwards. Some things like that, or
He
what do
has
you?
a lot of he has really good cross-ups.
Mm-hmm.
The auto combo does put him in the corner. So
Mm-hmm.
if you have like a lockdown assist, you can do a lot of really tricky stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has like the way he does offense a little bit more straightforward, but he has really really good crossover game.
Mm-hmm.
Like left right type of mix up instead of high low type of mix up.
Sure.
Yeah, but you need the assist for it is the main issue.
Gotcha, which is of course why we always see him on point. I think there's one person who actually plays him on what?
Yeah, Moke.
There you
Moke
go.
plays him anchor because the assist is pretty good.
Sure.
Yeah.
So going into talking about you with the history of fighting names and all of the other stuff, I believe from what I had seen, the devs were mentioning that they thought the characters that are in good spots were people like Adult Gohan, Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan Vegeta, and then Goku Black. Which of course these characters, only one of them, which would be Adult Gohan, of course has two lows that I'm aware of. One on his auto, and then he has of course his sliding 2M for that. So do you think that it's more that the characters force you to learn the basics of the game and don't have um, do you think that it's the characters like that have a lot to go for learning the fundamentals? Of course, understanding how to go high low, having a command grab on like Goku Black and other tools, beam assist on both Goku and Vegeta. I'm sorry, on Goku Black and then Super Saiyan Goku. Why do you think that they think these characters are the most solid and probably won't see any changes coming up?
I think they're all pretty much complete characters too. I kind of agree with the devs too,
Okay.
and specifically them mentioning Goku and Goku Black
Mm-hmm.
tells me too that they have a very specific intent on how they want those characters to be made and used.
Mm-hmm.
Like look at what you talked about with the lows and stuff.
Sure.
The thing that Goku, especially Goku, because I just actually added Goku to my team.
Yep. I
Like
saw that
a
on
week and a half
Twitter.
ago.
Yep.
Yeah. So specifically Goku, the thing he adds to the team is not what he does when he's out.
Okay.
He is a support character through and through.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he gives teams that might not have 4 level 1s 4 level 1s.
Mm-hmm.
If they can do 4 level 1s, then when he's out he do 5 level 1s, which is ridiculous damage. The beam assist is like honestly one of the best neutral assists you can have now that Vegeta is weakened.
Mm-hmm.
He is a support character. He is solid himself and he could do things too, but his goal, like you're not making a team for Goku. Like you're using Goku to support your other characters, and
Gotcha.
Goku Black is the same.
Okay.
So like honestly, the only difference between Goku and Goku Black is that Goku Black may have better neutral on his own,
Mm-hmm.
but Goku, the trade-off for Goku is that you get the higher damage because you get the multiple level ones, whereas
Sure.
Goku Black you can't do that, right? Gohan just has a complete toolkit,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, and then Vegeta is the same thing. He has a complete toolkit. I think all 4 of those characters are very well made. In addition to actually, I think Cell is close to a perfectly made character.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kid Buu is a perfectly made character as he is right now.
Okay.
I want them to fix like Beerus maybe, maybe change the monster a little. There's a few characters I think are pretty close to being like really good. But I think those 6 characters are like especially well made.
Okay, gotcha.
And that's probably why they think that too. They don't want a character. The problem with Vegeta before. Sorry to cut you off. Like the problem with Vegeta before is that he did too much, which is why like everyone was using him because he literally did everything, pretty much, right? But nowadays doesn't do everything. Like he has like a role. Like they basically want characters to be assigned 2 roles, and they want you to make a team around that. So with Vegeta before who could do everything, it was pretty much you had no reason to not use him because he does everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so getting into that, because I think kind of piggybacking off of the characters that people feel are pretty solid right now. So I know a lot of people complain, or at least a lot of people on Twitter sure complain, in regards to give everybody a 2L and all of that other stuff. But like you're
Hmm.
saying, characters like Goku Black and Super Saiyan Goku, who have the beam assist, they're there to support the team and everything else. If they had something as small, well, I say as small, if they had something like the 2L, do you think that would put them easily in the top tier for being able to get out the moves, since obviously the 2L is a lot quicker than a 2M and things like that, as well as for their mix
Yeah,
up?
Goku would be top tier immediately. I don't
Okay,
know about Goku Black. Goku Black maybe, but Goku would be top tier immediately if he had 2-0. Like guarantee. Like I think everyone would play him
gotcha.
if he had that. Uh, it's clear that if a character doesn't have a too low
Hmm.
2L, it's for a reason
Right. Which,
for
like,
sure.
as mentioned, because you're talking about the beam assist, and then they have the long range projectiles for neutral to kind of go across the screen, aerial Kamehamehas to kind of zone people out. I think that's what a lot of people seem to probably look over as well, as they always just complain everybody should have a 2L, but it's like, well, what other tools do they have that other people can't
Mm-hmm.
offer for you? So I'm glad that
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned that and went over that. So. Okay. In terms of for coming up and what you'd like to see, what are uh, we won't go over a full list. What are your probably top two things or two characters that you would like to see change in some way? You mentioned Bardock for sure. What do you think about his level 3 into his I guess it would be a 50-50, right? How you go with the oh man, I forget it. His
Yeah,
where he'll go up in the air and then come down, and then you have to guess if he's going to hit you high or if he's going to hit you low for that. Is that something that you think needs changing? Is there something else for his neutral? What do you think would need to be changed for that?
I would leave that alone to be honest.
Okay.
It is incredibly good. It is incredibly
Hmm.
good. It's probably the best level 3, but I'd actually leave it alone.
Okay.
Like he is an offensive character, you know.
Hmm.
Um, by the way, that mix up is, by the way, it's like the reason why it's so fucked
Hmm.
up is because it's layered like 3 ways technically, right? Because
Okay.
if he does it mid screen,
Hmm.
or if he does a DHC into it, then you have to block left, right, or high low, right? So first you have
Ah,
to
that's
guess
right.
that,
Uh-huh.
but then on top of that, so you can't like change your get up timing, right? So you
Right.
get up the same. So you also have to guess. Well, technically, Bardock has to guess whether or not you're going to reflect or not. So
Hmm.
it's like a little 2-way layer thing, but it's really really rough to deal with. It's super super hard to deal with, and you're dead if you're wrong. So it sucks. But
Sure.
I actually think he could keep that. To be honest, I want Riot Javelin, the lariat, to be
Oh
changed.
yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, and I think they should make it -2 and not -1. Or
Gotcha.
ideally they make it like -4 or -5, but like it should not be a -1 at least for
So
sure.
what would that put it more on par with in terms of another move on another character?
He's the only character in the game that has
Mhm.
a move that's -1.
Oh,
It's
okay.
quite good. It's quite good. It is. Well, there's actually two changes I want to it.
Hmm.
One is that, and two, they need to lower the attack level so you can't do airtight vanish off of it.
Okay.
Those are the two changes I would want on it. Besides that, I think everything else he has can stay. But
Gotcha.
I want that to be changed. Yeah.
Well, what's
If
another?
they
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
what? Go ahead.
No.
Oh, sorry. Basically like uh, if they, it's like an unreasonably good pressure reset tool because
Hmm.
basically you could do airtight strings into it. If you consider like universal overhead,
Hmm.
it's even on block, right? It's even on block, but there's no way to do it airtight pretty much ever unless you use assist.
Hmm.
But Bardock, you could just do this thing that's pretty much almost as good.
Hmm.
It's airtight. You can make it +2 on command,
Okay.
and it hits almost everywhere on the screen. Like you have to literally, if you watch like certain, like if you watch me play, or if you watch like, because I stole this from Japanese players, like
Hmm.
they literally stand like backdash full screen against him because that's the only spot it doesn't hit is full screen.
Sure.
It's almost a full screen. So someone could just do it, and if they touch you, it's vanish airtight. He's +2 in your face. Now what? Now you gotta hold. You gotta hold that. So I think those two changes would be fine. He can keep the level 3, to be honest.
Okay.
That costs 3 bars, right? Like it's expensive.
Yeah. I
Right
get,
jab, and you could just do it.
and it puts you on the ground even in the air, right? Because you can do
Yeah,
the lariat into that and the
level
level 3,
3.
and then it puts you right on the ground. So yeah, that's where,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course,
yeah,
it
yeah,
comes
yeah.
in.
It's super strong. Yeah, but I actually, like I said, I think he can keep
Hmm.
it. I think he can keep it. He's an offensive character, so I go okay. but I think they should change Right Javelin.
Okay, so you think it's
Yeah.
more him specific than any options on block or anything like that? You think it's fine totally with the reflect on get up and or just needing a block just flat out?
What, the level 3?
In regards to your defensive options in the game, sorry.
Oh, so you're saying like how I feel about defensive options or how I feel about the level 3?
Yeah, so
Oh.
more focusing on the defensive options that the game offers, which of course is just kind of
Oh.
blocking, and then versus you using a
I
reflect
mean,
for all of that.
reflects OD. Like reflect, like you gotta reflect is one of the most obnoxious things as about the game. To be honest, reflect is really fucking obnoxious. And one of the things that pissed me off about
Mm-hmm.
the scene is people don't fucking understand how good that shit is. Like it's obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine like it's like you hit somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like in a normal game, you fucking hit somebody, and if you convert properly and get a knockdown, your return is you fucking not like they gotta hold that.
Mm-hmm.
In this game, you gotta fucking guess like 18 different techs, and then on top of the techs, when they get up, if they get up on the ground, all you gotta guess a frame one move
Mm-hmm.
that pushes you full screen, that cancels it to itself,
Yep.
that you could do like a million things after you get like what the fuck? That's just ridiculous. That shit is so good. The defensive options in this game are like almost obnoxiously good. It's just they have contextual application, and that's why
Mhm.
people don't like them.
Gotcha.
People like stuff they could just do. They don't like stuff where it's like, oh, you have to use this resist. They just want to do stuff.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that is something I know I'm definitely guilty of that, where you want to just go into it right after you've been knocked down full combo level 3, and then you just want to get up and mash, or maybe you do actually want to try and do a reflect, and then the dragon rush comes out or something like that. But
And that's the whole guessing game in the first place.
Mhm.
That's what every good level 3 knockdown has
Yep.
the 2-layer mix up, because if a character is attacked like Bardock, the thing with Bardock is
Mhm.
you can't see the 50-50, but the reflect doesn't care if it's high or low. If it touches you, goodbye.
Sure.
So it's a legitimate option against that. It's just how scared are you of the other person baiting it? So that's why it's a 2-layer thing, and that's also why it's kind of scary too. Because if he doesn't have an assist, he drag rush you, he gets assist back. If you didn't die, you're definitely dying the next knockdown. So because now he has an assist, so he gets even better setups, right? So it's stressful in that way, but like it's a very good. I mean, imagine if you didn't have that and you just had to guess a 50-50. That world exists too, where you can't do shit.
Yeah.
But if people want push block,
Uh-huh.
you have to block that 50-50 first before you can push him away. You think you can block that 50-50?
So, as somebody that is fresh to fighting games with fighters, is there a really quick rundown for what a push block is in comparison to other games or anything like that? If hopefully it's a little bit easier to explain.
It's really easy to explain. So push block is from other versus games like Marvel vs. Capcom and stuff. And the idea is that when you are in block stun, so when you get caught blocking, you can input a command. It's usually like it depends on the game, but you can input some sort of command that will literally push them off you while you're in block stun.
Okay.
The reward, of course, is that they're far away from you. But the trade-off on the defensive side is that you get put in exceptionally more block stun.
Gotcha.
So you can create like traps and stuff. And usually push blocking is done with like normal attacks. So what also happens is if like you can quote unquote bait a push block by like delaying a little bit, and if the person hits the button, just an attack comes out. So you can like hit the attack, and there's that type of guessing game.
Okay.
So in the case of like the Bardock thing, for people who want push block in the game, they like have to block that mix up to push him away, as opposed to with reflect, where you could just do the reflect. You can't do reflect in block stun. You have to be outside of block stun.
Gotcha. Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes a little bit more sense then. So, thank you for that for us people who are brand new to fighting games like me with fighters. So in regards to Evo coming up and everything like that, I know you just won a tournament. I saw you post about that. How was the competition at that one?
It was okay. It was my the Philly monthly that they do. The level in Philly is okay. There's usually one notable player who goes there. It's Rogue Yoshi. You may or may not have heard of him. He's the best Nappa in the States. Goes there. And that tournament, because I skipped next level because it was my birthday the day after.
Oh yeah, happy belated birthday! It was a few days ago.
Yeah. But I was using Goku as like a test run because I've been playing Goku for the past like 10 days or so.
Sure.
And I was like, well, if I win Go for Broke, then I'll use Goku at Evo. If I don't win Go for Broke, I'll just keep playing 16. So I won, so I'm gonna play Goku.
Okay, so it was 16 that you swapped out for that.
Yeah.
So is it gonna be Cell, Kid Buu, and Goku then?
Yeah, but Kid Buu on point. Kid
So
Buu Cell Goku.
oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Is there? So I take it you've definitely looked at the bracket by now for Evo and everything like that. Who are
Mm-hmm.
you most excited to fight or scared of fighting coming up for that?
I don't really care, I
Okay.
guess. Like it's a long I think the only thing I'm thinking is like, if I can get everything as tight as I can, I
Hmm.
have like a really, really good day. Like I actually have a legitimate top 8 chance. If I can play well. It would be from losers, I think. I don't
Okay.
think it would be from winners. But I think I have a legitimate shot with like my bracket as long as it works out.
Mm.
Of course, they don't finalize the brackets until I think tomorrow night. So
Gotcha.
I'm gonna check tomorrow to make sure it's still mostly the same. But like at this point, Evo is just like don't freak out about it.
Hmm.
Do what you got to do. This Evo is a rare one for me personally because I don't like there have been a few Evos where I thought I was like a contender, like a real contender.
Hmm.
This game, I don't think I'm there yet because I didn't get to travel a lot early game.
Okay.
But at the same time, I still think I could do it. So I feel weird about that. But besides that, I'll just go do my best, get a lot of experience.
Hmm.
There's still the tour, so whatever.
Sure.
Uh,
In terms of nerves and things like that, so Hook Gang God, obviously somebody who came from tons of online scenes and all of the other stuff. Do you think nerves are going to play a big factor? So I'm pretty sure a lot of people that I'm aware of course, with my minimal experience with fighters and everything, come from other games. It's kind of feels like it's been a melting pot here. But the point that I'm
mm-hmm.
getting at for all of that is, do you think someone like him will actually see a worse placement since he's been on the scene for such a short amount of time for local, like in-person games, and he's never been to something as grand as Evo?
I think so
Hmm.
personally. Um, he like that shit is nuts. Like actually playing a legitimate top 8
Yeah.
at Evo is like nuts. Like it's like we were both at Summit
Hmm.
and like he won Summit and yeah, it was really high stress,
Hmm.
but also it was just us
Yeah.
in the house. It's like 20 people, maybe max 30 people in the house. Like
Hmm.
Evo is like if it's Dragon Ball 2, it's gonna be in the arena, right? So that's gonna be really, really. I think he's a definite contender for top 8,
Hmm.
but I hope his nerves don't get to, or maybe he just doesn't give a fuck. I don't know. He could be that type of guy.
Yeah.
I definitely I feel it like, but I'm used to it. But I'm used to it too now,
Sure.
so like it's not so bad. Uh,
Okay. So in regards to, so you mentioned top eight. Now, who would be your top three finishers at Evo, or maybe even your top two that you could for sure see get there?
Top 3: Sonic, Goichi, Dogoro, some order.
Okay.
That's the safest bet. That's the safest bet. I think they are ahead of everyone else right now. Yeah, there's some people who are like
Mm-hmm.
close, but I think those three are like because the main name of the game right now is consistency, and those three are the most consistent for
Yep.
sure.
At
Yeah.
oh man, the current event slips my mind, but Sonic Fox won against Dogura, and then of
Oh, you're talking
course
about verse fighting.
this that okay, that's the
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
Dogura had to beat Goichi, I believe, to get to Sonic Fox
Yeah,
there.
that
So
shit was clean.
I
That
definitely
shit was clean.
definitely
It
need
was
to catch
good.
up on that one
It
then.
was good. It was good. Games like that put a smile on my face. It was a clean win.
I'll definitely make sure to check that out.
Mm.
Probably tonight or maybe tomorrow for that. So,
Mm.
as far as for other people that you can probably see getting up there, do you have a dark horse that you think might come out of nowhere? As far as for your pit to make it into top 8 or top 16 that we haven't seen too much of?
Dark horses. There's probably a few like it's like Denpa. Denpa. I don't know if you've heard of him. He goes by Radio Wave too. His name
Okay.
should be Radio Wave in the bracket.
Uh huh.
He plays Ginyu Go Tanks Android 16.
Okay.
Um, Superboy too. My boy Cho, also Japanese player. He plays Ginyu also. But is Ginyu Goku? Ginyu Bardock Goku,
Okay.
I believe. Yeah, that team's cheap. Both of those teams are really fucking cheap. Um,
So far, two people with Ginyu. All right.
yeah, Moke Mochi probably. He's Japanese Android 21. I think
Mm-hmm.
he's 21 Bardock Goku. I
Okay.
think. Let's see other dark horses. US would probably be like I guess Sage is not dark horse. The bracket projects Sage making it, but he's like me. He's like a better me. Like he has like But also he's traveled more, but basically he's inconsistent also.
Gotcha.
I think that's my problem too, is we're inconsistent.
I think we saw that a little bit at Summit. It looked like that he really wasn't feeling it there, but then at some of the more recent tournaments,
he's done stuff like he got top 4 at Verse Fighting.
Yep.
He did badly at Summit though, but he was the first person that beat Sonic. But then he's also gone like 2-2 at next level. His results are all over the place. But I can't say shit because I'm the same. I definitely went like 1-2 at next level, but then like I've just won a bunch of shit too. So it's like, so the name of the game, I think, for people who aren't like Sonic, Goichi, and Dogura, and to a point friend rich, is consistency. Like you get consistency, and it's because the game's kind of early. The kill stage should, if he is just fine and he's not fucking playing Bardock like he's talking about, I think he could do it. I think Leffen's kind of a dark horse.
Oh man, I totally forgot about Leffen.
And like I said, I think I can actually do it with my path.
Sure.
There's definitely paths where it's like, fuck, like that's really hard. But like the one I got, I was like, you know what, like I could really, really do this. Another person would be NicoMaki, Android 21 player from North Carolina. Like barely anyone knows about him, but he's really good.
Okay.
He went to DTN. I think he got like 4th at DTN or something. 4th or 3rd at DTN just recently. And it's there one. I want to name one other person that I guess I can see also Nakio doing it if he has a good day. I feel like he doesn't play as well in tournament. I think Nakio is like really fucking good, like really, really good. But in tournaments, he gets like shook sometimes, which makes me sad. I think he's ridiculous. Nakio's really good.
Okay. And so I'm going to backtrack just a little bit here. So you mentioned 2 Ginyu players and you mentioned a lot of Goku. It seems that Goku's really surged forward within the past, to me, at least from what I've seen the past couple of weeks. Obviously, Dogura picking him up. And then you mentioned...
Dogura picked him up after Summit.
Okay, so then that was a little bit over a month ago, something like that then?
Yeah.
Okay. So in regards to that, why do you think just now we're starting to see Goku really come into it? Unless I've been out of it and really haven't been noticing how much Goku there's been. Is it just because of that assist? Okay.
It's definitely a recent thing. And it's definitely like, don't want to say playstyle difference, or just like a difference of thinking about the game. US team builds are usually 2 main things. US team builds outside of like the common, like there's some teams that you'll just see, right? So outside of like the common teams, and when I say like that, I'm not even talking about like Kid Buu. Like there are specific teams you'll see pretty often. That'd be like Team Scrub, Team Japan. Oh, sorry, Team Scrub's Kid Buu, Bardock.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
See, I feel happy.
That's what I call it.
I feel happy saying that to people or about people.
Yeah, that's definitely Team Scrub. Team Japan is you've seen it a million times. It's Cell, Bardock, Vegeta.
Okay. Yep.
And I guess those are the two. Those are like 2 teams like you will see very repeated. Then there's some Kid Buu Cell stuff, but like Kid Buu Cell, you're gonna see it with Bardock. Like, if anyone's playing Kid Buu Cell, they're mostly playing with Bardock. So what I'm trying to say basically though is a lot of teams that aren't those teams that are from the States, they're usually either heavily offensive, like the third will be like Go Tanks or like 16 coming up more, Bardock, whatever. Or they'll be like excessively defensive.
Okay.
In a way. So it'd be like Tien and another character, or like someone in Vegeta, like something like that. The Goku pick is so what that assist does is it almost does everything. Actually, it's really close to old Vegeta. It almost does everything for you.
Okay.
It doesn't actually do everything, but it's really close. It helps a lot. The neutral, you control the ground immediately. You clear the ground immediately when you call it. It gives good mix up to everybody because it has sufficient block stun.
Because you have the multi-hit on that, correct, compared to some of the other assists?
No, it's just about block stun duration.
Okay.
So, like for example, Android 16's assist is only 1 hit.
Yep.
But he has like 45 frames of block stun or something.
Oh wow.
But it's only 1 hit.
Yeah.
But Goku's like 35-ish, I believe. I think it's 35 frames.
Okay.
Even though it's multi, the amount of hits don't really matter.
Gotcha.
The amount of hits only matters when they reflect it. So that's really fucking nice when they reflect it. Then you're like, oh, they reflected the assist. So now what do I do? As opposed to if it's 1 hit, they reflect the assist. You're like, oh shit, they reflected the assist. Like now what? Right. So it's nice for that. And it also gives really good combo extensions, specifically whatever into Goku Assist, into Dragon Rush,
Mhm.
into stuff, which is amazing because it lowers the cost of killing other characters.
Okay.
It's all around a really good assist. So
Mhm.
the easy way to think about it is like you control neutral better,
Mhm.
you get good mix-ups, and you do more damage with him. So the goal with him technically is like the Kazunoko team with Yamcha is like
Okay.
Goku shouldn't actually even play the game. Like if you have a Goku team, so this is the thing about my team right now.
Uh-huh.
I'm playing Dober's. I'm literally just playing Dober's team now.
Okay.
Funny because he was playing my team.
Yeah.
He was playing my team. Now I'm playing his team. But the main thing is like you control neutral and you have
Uh-huh.
Kibu, whose neutral is really good, and Goku completes it. You do more damage than normal. You get good mix up anyway, and ideally, like Goku should just not have to play the game. It's a really really good team. It's a really 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 good team, and Goku supports a lot of characters like that. Most of the defensive zony-ish, like the Ginyus and the
Mhm.
Nappas and stuff, they either go like they could actually really use Goku because it'll help them control neutral a little bit, help them get their stuff out. Like as a side note, like Rogoshi plays Nappa, right?
Mhm.
So one of the things that really fucking pissed me off about this game is characters that put stuff on the screen, like Nappa and Ginyu.
Mhm.
If you hit them, the thing stays on the screen.
Right.
You actually have to hit the thing that they put on the screen, right?
Yep.
So one of the really hard parts about playing Rogoshi before
Mhm.
is because I was playing Android 16. I had no way to have like a low committal way of getting rid of Cyberman,
Mhm.
and I had to like do like special combos just for it and like all this bullshit. Like he's getting hit and
Uh-huh.
he's mashing because he knows the Cyberman's gonna come hit me, even though he's getting beat up.
Sure.
It's very frustrating. With Goku, I could just call Goku. It's one button, gone, goodbye.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like
I can definitely
nice
see
life,
that.
a nice life.
Yeah. All right then. I guess for the last question or anything like that, is there any main character you'd like to see added to the game, or any special move or rework on a character that already exists in the game?
To be honest, I'm not a really big
Mhm.
Dragon Ball fan,
Okay.
so all my requests are like really ridiculous ones. Like I'd want like Vados or something like in the game.
Okay.
They can add whoever they want though. I more
Mhm.
want like I just want more technical characters. Like the technical characters in
Mhm.
the game are like Kid Blue's very fun.
Mhm.
Like that's the type of character I like to play. Like he's strong and he's like unique, which is nice.
Mhm.
But like I don't like the Ginyu types. I don't like the Ginyu Nappa types. I think I never play those type of characters. I think they're fucking whack, honestly.
Okay.
So I hope they add like and the characters they mark as technical, they're not
Mhm.
like actually technical. Like Blue Goku is supposed to be technical and like
Okay.
Blue Vegeta is supposed to be technical, but they're not like really technical. You know, like Trunks is actually nice, but
Mhm.
uh, between like they're too scared to make him good, which is annoying. That's the other thing. That's I guess it's two things. There's one of them
Mhm.
to add like an actual like super technical character,
Mhm.
and also don't be so scared to make the characters good. Like a lot of the characters are only one or two changes away from being like really fucking good.
Sure.
So I don't want them to be. I know why they did it like that, but
Mhm.
like just let's see what happens. Like fuck,
Yeah. And
you can always change it back.
I guess that's probably a little bit more difference coming to a fighting game in comparison to team games, as mentioned, for me being more involved with League and Overwatch and things like that. Here it seems like you can just change a single move or a single aspect of a move, and then that will entirely change the dynamic of a way that a character is. So for Android 16, which this is probably a big one in actuality, but for his command grab just on the ground, that did put you in a hard knockdown, I'm pretty sure, and then they took that part
Yeah,
away so you
yeah.
could tap that. So I guess for other characters that are going
He
to be
got
changed.
really drastically changed if you think about it, because
Hmm.
he only got two changes,
Hmm.
and it like
Oh, and
it
then he has,
literally
yeah, go ahead.
the 5H, right?
Yep.
And the way that people played him,
Hmm.
literally the reason why people dropped him, and they said he was dead is
Hmm.
because they couldn't play that way. Because a
Yep.
lot of people played him like just honestly, really mindlessly.
Yep.
Okay, now he's still like he's maybe like let's say 5% less good.
Hmm.
Let's say he's still pretty much as good as he was, but because you can't like be like just mashing 5H and it like oops I hit you into hard knockdown
Hmm.
for like 1 bar or maybe for free, people don't want to play him.
Okay, yeah, I can
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, I thought that that was definitely interesting. Everybody on Twitter and Reddit was saying that he's dead now, and then slowly he's kind of crept back in there, and then
I played him
nobody
the whole time. I
mentioned
played
it.
him that whole time. People said he was dead.
Yeah,
People were like impressed by my Android 16. I was like, it's the same character.
and then Reynaud too stuck with him, didn't he?
Reynold plays a lot of characters, but that's his best character. He kept playing him too. Yeah,
Okay,
and Dogura picked him up at the start too.
okay.
He's good.
Hmm.
He's actually really fucking good still. Actually, if I knew now, but I knew back then, it
Uh-huh.
would be more ridiculous, right? Because it's just the 5H was on 5H. I'm actually upset that they changed, but it
Hmm.
makes sense why. And
Sure.
obviously the hard knockdown was like a universal. Like anyone who had that, they took it away. So
Hmm.
it's fine. That one was fine.
And so I guess the we can probably end it on this note just so that I don't
Cool,
keep you for
cool.
too long. In regards to the upcoming changes and everything, so would you rather see characters toned back a little bit or everybody brought up? If you could only have it one way where either people come up or go down, which way would you actually push it more?
Definitely come up.
Okay.
Definitely come up. If you tone it down, it's going to be boring. So the game should create stress
Okay.
for sure. That's the good thing. So you make everything weaker, it's boring. Make everyone strong.
Okay. All right then. Well, I guess that's more or less it for the questions. Good luck to you at Evo. If you want to plug in anything right now, please feel more than free to.
Um. Okay. Okay. Feel free to follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/LordKnightBB, at LordKnightBB, Twitch/LordKnight. I stream 3 times a week now, not 4. If you want to like learn new stuff about the game, I don't actually play matches on my stream ever. I just like that's like my training time.
We're educational there.
Yeah, so it's a little bit more educational. Most people just play online. So if you want something a little different, come through. It's chill. And shouts to Beast Coast, my sponsor. You guys are cool. Sorry for not wearing your shirt on this podcast.
No worries. Well,
It's in the laundry.
and I'll make sure to put all that, of course, down in the description and everything like that. Make
Cool,
sure that
cool,
people can access that easily. All right then.
cool.
Okay, so this is our second guest of the Dead Game podcast. Of course, dead games such as Dragon Ball Fighters with the most entrants at Evo. Definitely a dead game, at least according to everybody who doesn't play it or isn't involved in the community. And we're joined by NicoMaki. How are you doing?
How we doing? I'm good. I'm good. That's a very ironic name for Dragon Ball Fighters.
Definitely is. Even covering things like Overwatch, which would be in the future, which of course had its
Oh man,
peak for its first finals and everything like that. But hey, I
that
mean,
game, terrible.
dead games all over the place, let me tell you, man. So we've seen you out at NLBC quite a bit and everything, getting in a lot of practice out on stream and in person and things like that. As somebody that hasn't been to, at least not yet, many majors or big events, how do you think that the difference is going to be for people that come from online, such as Hook Game God, going into such a big event like Evo? Do you think the nerves are probably going to get to him, or he might not perform as well since he's pretty new to the local scene and things like that? I don't know if things have been different for you, just even being at NLBC and things like that, or how the transition was. But what do you think about all that?
That's a good question. So backtracking back to Hook since
Yep.
yeah, fine. And I don't know if you know his full backstory, but
I've seen a little bit of it in terms of I know that, and this is stuff that he said, so it's not a secret for him being a little bit bigger and being shy for all of the
yeah,
other
I was
stuff.
just about to
Yeah.
say that. So he didn't go out, and also he's younger. Like we're both younger players,
Hmm.
so obviously we couldn't be running around New York City all day.
Sure.
Yeah, but he he has progressed very well
Hmm.
for someone from online. So it's kind of a hit or miss for people that will have an easier time progressing, like when they go to tournaments for the first time offline compared to net play. But he's done really well. Some people don't do well,
Hmm.
but it's really up to the player. So for my case, I've been to a good amount of majors and tournaments for different games though. So
Okay.
I'm more or less comfortable. Like my nerves are like pretty much gone at that point for majors, especially for a game like this, as big as Dragon Ball. So usually don't get nervous, but yeah, net play players have a problem. People that haven't showed up to a lot of tournaments, but he does well. So
Hmm.
it's like it's player basis. I feel.
So do you think the problem is more the delay? And of course, that does matter. I'm sure people that have played online and competitive and all of that, they notice the difference between 1 to 2 frame delays versus 3 to 4 or anything like that. And once you start going up past a certain point, then it's almost unplayable.
Yeah. I was thinking about this earlier too.
Hmm.
It's weird seeing people going from net play to offline. So people that play tournament and they stream,
Mm-hmm.
they'll complain a lot about, oh, it's too laggy, I can't react or do certain stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And where reactions and doing stuff on cue is like huge, right?
Sure.
So, but I've always thought about how net play players feel going from net play to offline.
Mhm.
Like nerves, but I didn't even talk about the delay. So it has a factor the other way around, but from
Mhm.
net play, I'm actually curious about that. Should
Okay.
talk-
Now, in regards to the current state of the game and everything that we've seen, obviously you've kind of progressed with your team. At least that I'm aware of, you were, or you still are, I guess, for your main team, with Cell, Bardock, and Kidbu, I believe, is kind of like the core that you're going with right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the team I've been working with right now. I guess the true core
Mhm.
of in Cell Kibu. I played Cell Kibu in the beta, like for the entire way through. I think almost all my teams except the team in the back
Yep.
had Cell and Kibu, but Cell's been like on every team.
Okay, fair enough. Of course,
To play right now.
yeah,
So
having some love for the villain there.
yeah, Bardock's cool. I played Wolverine in Ultimate Marvel,
Hmm.
so he's kind of like my 2018 Logan. Super aggressive, and he's just really good right now. You know, hope that way. Let's pray that the Dragon Ball God Bardock with save patch.
We'll see what happens coming up, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. But in regards to the characters that you're seeing, are you actually satisfied with how things are in the current state of the game? We're seeing people, of course, branch out into other characters. Most notably, I guess, at NLBC, for people that keep up with that, Double L suddenly came out of, for me anyways, nowhere it seemed like, and starting to place top at NLBC when Hook left, winning multiple NLBC or titles for that, however you want to word it. Do you think that people like Genyu are really slept on right now, or Fat Boo, or things like that? Do you think that even if the game wouldn't be patched after EVO, we would see the progression of them just naturally?
Hmm. So the interesting about that part is I don't know who started the interview, but they
Hmm.
interviewed some of the people that were heavily involved in Dragon Ball Fighters,
Hmm.
like the main director,
Okay.
how characters like Cell they're so popular and they progress so fast,
Hmm.
but talking about how there are definitely some characters that haven't been progressing as much, but we're like you said, we're starting to see some characters
Yep.
woodworks like Ginyu or like Piccolo too, right? Piccolo was
Hmm.
slept on. Even someone like 816, even for a little bit, 816 was like, oh, this character's not good, and then oh, he has hard knocked off of a throw and like all these other really powerful tools. So I think there are some characters that I don't know. At least right now, they definitely need some help. But there are some characters that they are like they're slowly climbing.
Hmm.
To, like Piccolo, Ginyu, Trunks is always pretty solid. I don't know Majin Buu. Majin Buu made me a little bit of work, or
Hmm.
like now, but yeah, there are definitely some characters that are really solid, and there are also characters that fell off, right? So
Who would be for falling off? I guess Android
let's say
16,
Goku Black,
Goku Black.
A16. Well, here's the
16
thing.
went
So
down, then
A16 got
came
nerfed,
back,
right?
right?
It came back. That's why I do like the patch. Not too scared about the patch coming up
Hmm.
because they did a pretty good job. If you look at in a not biased opinion, I think they did a pretty good job. So let's look at the characters they touched, right? They touched Dogohan,
Yep.
16, Cell a little bit, not really,
Hmm.
a little bit, not really, but I guess the two big ones were like 16 and Dogohan. And they're both really solid.
Hmm.
Depending on who you ask in the region you're from, people still say they're top 5. I think they're both very strong. I don't know, top 5, I have to think about a little more. Those characters are both solid, so
Hmm.
overall they toned down the really like broken stuff, but
Hmm.
they're still up there. And then characters that fell off, right, that hadn't got touched, like I could say Goku Black
Hmm.
or maybe Trunks a little bit. Trunks was a little more popular at the time. Well, Goku Black fell off a lot. A lot of people are really on the regular Goku train.
So that's perfect, actually, because why do you think that that is? Because they both offer beam assist, which is the exact same, at least that I'm aware of for that. Goku
His
Black.
actually
Oh yeah, go ahead.
his actually I if I have this right,
Uh huh.
his slightly bigger and the startup is slower. But
Okay.
besides that, the same. You're pretty much right on that one.
Okay. Now, do you think that it's more that because you can do like double level ones, for example. So you can go with your bread and butter combo, get him up really high for Super Saiyan Goku, and then by himself do double level ones with the Super Kamehameha downward, and then go into instant transmission Kamehameha. Do you think that that's one reason, in terms of maybe combat potential or just damage output, that we're seeing more Super Saiyan Goku as of recently in comparison to Goku Black? Or what do you think the reason is for the difference there?
So there's a few main reasons why Goku is becoming more popular again compared to Black. So the big one that a lot of players that are up high level
Mm-hmm.
agree with, his synergy is kind of messed up. So what I mean that is his DXC. So the thing about Goku, right? It's a beam.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a animation, so it works way better, and you can point it up or point it straight. So it works a lot better than it works better with more characters, right? So taking Goku Black,
Mm-hmm.
animation and the damage is not that strong. So only I guess not a few, but it's not enough characters work with that DXC well enough to warrant running him. For example, when I was running Cell Goku Black, Cell into Goku Black DXC is really bad. The
Okay.
damage is quite awful compared to Goku. If you just go in training mode for 2 seconds and
Mm-hmm.
do Goku Black compared to Cell regular Goku,
Mm-hmm.
significantly better. That's one reason, right? The other reason, I guess, it is a good point that regular Goku can do double super.
Mm-hmm.
In the corner, Goku Black's damage is also quite high, and his neutral's a little better, right? He has a little more, as Sonic calls it, the nooch, right?
Okay.
And you have the nooch. The nooch is Goku Black, aka dive kick,
Yep.
slicer from full screen into conversions.
Mm-hmm.
He has a command throw,
Yep.
teleport. But Goku, right? His neutral is kind of a little bit weaker, I think, than Goku Black. But like I said, the synergy, I think, is the big point that people are starting to switch back into regular Goku.
So since the game's been out for 6 months now, in comparison to when Goku Black was really at his height for a couple months into 3 and 4, somewhere around there, and then he started falling off, of course.
I remember, yeah, it's like Winter Brawl. Winter Brawl, I had a discussion with a bunch of players. We were like, damn, Goku Black is literally on every team.
Mm-hmm.
Literally on every team. It was crazy.
So in regards to the synergies, so as the game's progressed in comparison to the beginning, I did hear people say, hey, you should pick characters like you have multiple point characters, and then you should play your team that way. Do you think people are now really getting into the nitty-gritty of, hey, I'm going to make a team that's going to do these specific aspects, cover my bases for all of this, and that's why Super Saiyan Goku is actually being picked over Black in comparison?
Huh. I get what you're saying. So
Sure.
I remember a game that people were, or I think Sonic Fox is pushing this pretty hard, that
Uh-huh.
have a team with all point characters. So that was kind of taken out of context or like misrepresented.
Sure.
But I think what makes teams, so the thing about Dragon Ball FighterZ is, right? Because it's not like Marvel in the sense of you're having this core structure. And that was a problem with one of my, again, the team in the back. I way where it was, Cell was running, he was a battery, he has the beam, and then you have Trunks who's like more coverage anchor. It worked out for a decent amount of time. It did okay with it, but that team wasn't that strong because in a game like Dragon Ball FighterZ, where a specific system in the game, raw tag, is very powerful, you kind of want to have your whole team alive as long as possible. And by having that team alive as long as possible, is you're gonna want to be swapping in and out constantly so they can, gain the blue health back. So in that sense, you do want to have a team of all point, but what that really represents is that you want to have a team that can work in any order depending on the situation. So for example, you take a team like Team Cyclops, right? You got Cell, Bardock, Vegeta.
Okay.
All really strong characters, but depending on what order you have them in, it'll work no matter what happens, right? So Cell, obviously, Cell's the big boy. He's gonna get the big boy damage, touch of that. You have Bardock. So what does he have behind him? He has Vegeta assist and he has Cell assist behind him. So the neutral's gonna be really good. Push your shit in because the neutral is just able to run around freely. And you have Vegeta. So let's say if Cell or Bardock's hurting, he gets to be backed up behind him, and Bardock assists. So even Vegeta can get pressure and keep away. You see how all three of those characters, like, they just work well together. You want to be able to mix and match as much as possible.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, no, I can definitely see that in regards to all of the assists. Of course, on so Cell has like the beam. Do you think that we're starting to see just more beam assist in general, and that's going to be the main factor at something like Evo? Because I know a lot of people are switching to definitely Super Saiyan Goku. Black, as we mentioned, kind of fell off, but now we're seeing regular Goku. Cell's been a thing. Kid Buu with his lockdown on his assist as well. Do you think that that's going to be more of a factor in comparison to what we had before with, I don't know, something like Android 16, where of course he has long delay for his moves and everything, but just that full coverage of the screen?
I think we're gonna have a good amount of assists, like variety,
Okay.
to make a assist powerful, right? You want to have like all some some assists don't have everything, but the core aspects of it, you want to be able to give you neutral,
Mhm.
you want to lock down, and you want it to be kind of scrubby, which is like what Vegeta was, right? He was good in neutral.
Mhm.
The assist, obviously, he was good in neutral. He was scrubby because you can run up and call Vegeta and they get hit, or vanish, they get hit by Vegeta, yada yada. And then it also gives you combo potential, like a lot of combo potential that is desperately needs. So that's why you see a lot of Vegeta, right?
Mhm.
Not every assist gives you that. So, like for example, Kid Buu is considered one of the best assists in the game, but he really only gives you kind of one and a half things, right? Because to finesse that assist in neutral is very difficult. Usually don't use it in neutral that often,
Sure.
but it's the lockdown god, obviously.
Right.
It does have some combo potential, but again, it's like one of the best assists in the game, so people are going to use it.
Yeah.
And of course, attached to a good character, that's also a huge aspect. So I think seeing the variety of teams, you're going to see a lot of the same characters that are good at, like Cell, of course, or Kid Buu, but I think we're going to see some pretty creative stuff from teams, like Piccolo. I think Piccolo Assist is also very very strong. Trunks fell off, but Trunks is also really good. In the beginning of the game, I thought it was going to be the Vegeta killer for it being on frame one key blast symbol.
Okay.
That I guess Moki doesn't use too much, but Chris G does a lot. He's starting to get really good at that. If people pay attention to how he plays.
Is he actually still sticking with Trunks?
Yeah. So he kind of had a fallout at Defend the North. I'm not gonna get too into it,
Sure.
but he definitely was unhappy with his performance. But for the time being, he is playing.
I thought he
What was
had
it?
gone to Android 18 instead or something like that. Or was that? Oh, I'm sorry, TN. That was the main person that
Oh, TN, yeah, yeah.
I was thinking of Sonic Fox for a second. He dropped that real
Yeah,
quick.
no, he was going Bardock. He had Bardock, Vegeta. I think it was TN right now, but he swapped around Trunks a little bit, I
Mhm.
believe it. So I don't think he fully committed. It's a good team though without Trunks, but again, Moke too. Moke is also the high level Trunks player.
Okay. Now, in regards to a good mix, so what is your top two, maybe three characters that you think are being slept on the most before the changes, of course, that are coming up that you think might be dark horses or throw off definitely a few people? I would say definitely someone like Ginyu, since seeing Double L, and then there was a tournament that I think you went over with a lot of the Japanese players.
Yeah, the Millennium Esports in Lost
There you
Gate.
go.
Oh man. Okay, so like how I said the patch, I wasn't nervous.
Yeah.
I am nervous.
Okay.
There are some characters I honestly hope do not get buffed.
All right.
Ginyu is definitely one of them.
Okay.
Ginyu is the slops character. He will make you extremely uncomfortable. I watched the Japanese regional, or what it was called, Battle for the Best Region,
Sure. Oh yeah, that is what it's called.
and it has the egg, as people are saying, the best Ginyu player right now, aka Choi.
Okay.
Or Choi. He was going to town. If you let him rock for 10 seconds, like it was a problem. Ginyu, the force was in full effect. He had all the pressure. He's making every player uncomfortable, even Goichi, if you saw from the sets. But
Probably
yeah, he
uncomfortable
really do not.
from his
He's number
attire,
one.
wearing all those speedos and everything like that. I think that's more of what it is. Throwing those splits out on people and everything. So
He he's number one. I do not want him to get buffed. He would be an absolute problem. I honestly want one change for him. and
Okay.
Two changes. I guess they can make so medium shoulder is kind of weird. It doesn't
Mhm.
have that purpose from it. So I guess they can buff it in some way. But I do want I forget the characters, but the ball, the orb that travels around and it shoots all the key blasts.
Jason Birder, the one where they
Yeah,
combine and then
Jason
shoot.
Birder, the
Yeah.
fuse. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah. I want one change for that. I think they should get hit out of that.
Oh, that's right. It is
You
invulnerable. Isn't
cannot
it?
hit them, and that is extremely obnoxious.
I could see that. Yeah, definitely. Even Raccoon, what is it? When he charges up, he
All of
needs
them,
multiple
yeah.
hits,
All of
doesn't
them, you
he?
can hit him.
Yeah.
Even what's his name, Goldo?
Yeah.
You can hit him before he does
The paralysis or whatever.
the paralysis.
Uh-huh.
You cannot hit the ball, and that is extremely obnoxious.
I didn't even think about that part, but yeah, I actually, it's funny because I was barely messing with Ginyu last night just to kind of see, because I saw a highlight from probably the person
Yeah.
that you mentioned, and people were starting to combo me, but I called that right before, so right before they're getting me up with the 2H to continue, they get hit.
Yeah, it hits him.
Yeah.
Everything, even level 3s, you cannot interrupt that attack. I would understand if they merged and
Right.
the ball, but I feel like you can't even hit them while they're fusing.
Right.
Like it's kind of bullshit, in my opinion. People are gonna get upset, like, but I do think that's one big change they should make.
No, I could definitely see that for sure.
Number 2, I gotta look at the list. Actually, the list would be pretty helpful, but
For all the characters?
yeah, well, the characters are getting changed, right? So if we're gonna talk balance,
Oh, so in regards to who they said that they didn't, or who they thought was in a good place. So the good place is Adult Gohan, Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan Vegeta, and Goku Black. Those were the main characters that they said they
I
liked.
remember.
So just not those, and I think everybody else is pretty much on there. Definitely someone like Beerus, I believe.
So, I have the list right here. You can edit this part. Oh, here. All right, I have a list. I just wanted to look at that.
Okay.
So being slept on. Oh, this is a big one. No, I'll skip him because this is too controversial.
Okay.
A21. A21 was definitely another person on this. She could be a problem with just a few changes.
Uh-huh.
So I guess the big factor is she got the big mama damage, right? As people like to say. She has a lot of damage, but her scaling is kind of weird, so some combos are the combo variety is kind of bizarre for her.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have the true down. She doesn't have a real smash state knockdown, right? So,
Okay.
Extreme, I suggested that maybe they should change her EX dive to give her the soft knockdown instead of the great. But people were like, "Whoa, that might be too much."
Mm-hmm.
And I get it too. I was like, "And she'd be really good with a splat knock." So I reverted my big changes for her, but she's kind of tricky. So I think the other thing is her assist too. Her assist is kind of, even though it is technically a beam,
Mhm.
it's so it's not like a straight beam where you get a lot of off of it. You kind of have to finesse the assist a little bit more than
Sure.
a usual beam.
I think, isn't that the only assist that doesn't actually do damage in the entire game, or is that wrong?
No, that one does damage. Maybe
Oh, it
Krillin,
does.
Krillin rocks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's
That one
Krillin.
definitely does damage. It's definitely, it hurts if it hits you. But the problem is just it's a beam. It's a ball and a beam. It's not a real beam.
Gotcha. Okay, I actually didn't even know that did damage. That's how little I play against her. I've ever seen her come out for stuff like
Yeah,
that. So.
right. So, but she's definitely a stronger character. I think a bit stronger than Ginyu. So if they were to buff her slightly or a little bit extra that she didn't need, I think it would make her very good.
Okay. So in regard, oh sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we got one more. Right? You said 3?
Oh yeah, go ahead if you want to go.
Let's go 3. Yeah, let's go 3. So I mean, there's a few characters that I
Okay.
didn't see.
Throw in the controversial one too. Go ahead.
I guess honorable mentions could be Zamasu and Piccolo.
Okay.
But I guess the big one I would say that I think people are starting to see a little more, but he's not as played as much as Vegito. I think Vegito
Okay.
very good. I think he's very good. He's also a few changes away from being extremely top tier.
What's the primary change for that? I think the primary player that you see for Vegito, and I'm gonna butcher his name, is Tatsumi, or I don't know how you pronounce it. Oh god, I feel bad.
People just say Tatsu.
Tatsu. Okay, so I think that's
The guy from West Coast, right?
I believe so. Oh god,
It's like Tatsunako. I can't pronounce. I just say most people.
Tatsu. Okay.
Yeah. I guess in the States, there's another guy. He was also in the regionals. I forgot his name,
Mhm.
but he Vegito, Kid Buu, Teen Gohan.
King Gohan. Okay.
If you watched it, it's a very unique team. But so what did I say for Vegito? I think I said, oh yeah, the one thing I said, I think it'll be pretty fair that I assume he's gonna get buffed.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not, but I think he's gonna get buffed. I think one change that'd be pretty good for him is so the air super, right? The punch,
Okay. Yeah.
it has so much recovery on it.
Right. I think I know where you're going with this. As soon as that he recovers, the other person's up about the same time. So you're basically even for that. Is that more or less where you're going, or no?
No, you're not even. He is definitely he definitely can't do anything after that super.
Oh,
Like
okay. So he's actually
his
negative one.
recovery, yeah. If you never play the character like at all,
Yeah.
or know that his recovery is awful on that super.
Okay.
Bad. I think they should make the recovery less on for Vegito. So like someone like Kid Buu, right? He has the beam, the up beam super.
Yeah, the extinction, human extinction.
Yeah, he recovers like almost instantly, right? So he gets to make some sort of pressure
Mm-hmm.
situation. Vegito can't do any of that. And the other alternative, right, is to chuck them across the screen. In that situation, you can't get anything either. So I think they would kill two birds in one
Mm-hmm.
stone, would make it so he can recover faster. So people don't have to spend on vanish and then do the throw back into the corner.
Okay.
They don't have to spend the bar and super and get more damage.
Mm-hmm.
So you get pressure mid screen, right? Because it tracks and they get splat right in front of you.
Yep.
But coverage so long it kind of it fucks them up, I think.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. Mind you, of course, I didn't know that much that he was actually negative on that, but I would see it on stream, and it always confused me because I'm like, well, it does less damage, and then it looks like that they always hop up right around the same time that he's actually still kind of standing up from the recovery from it. So
Yeah, the recovery is just awful.
Yeah.
If you don't play him, you would never notice. But that's a good thing. You're online and somebody's doing it. Just get away because
Yeah.
they can't. Yeah, it's
Okay.
not that good. But I guess I could talk. I'll talk about the two characters that says Zamasu and Piccolo, right?
Yeah.
So,
Hard not down Piccolo. Is that where you're going with that one already?
no, absolutely
No?
not.
Okay.
I think those two characters are also extremely powerful.
Okay.
Well, actually, no. I think Zamasu has potential to be extremely. But Piccolo, on the other hand, everybody knows my man is the second sword user in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jump like the god. I think they should nerf that normal a little bit. The normal is kind of OD.
So hitbox in terms of like pull that back a little bit.
Yeah, the hitbox is because it's a light attack, right? So the risk is so little because he can just throw it out
Mm-hmm.
and extremely far. Like his air conversions are absolutely insane compared to the rest of the guy. So I don't know about anything else I would change for him. I think he's in a pretty good spot overall, but I do think that needs a nerf. It's kind of nuts. Especially he has also jump H that goes really far too. That's
Okay.
one small change I would do to him. So Masu, on the other hand, I would give him one simple buff.
Mm-hmm.
There's some other things I could think about, but I guess right off the bat, I would say make his 5S hit crouchers. Or at least hit crouchers in the way Broly's 5S does.
Huh. Okay. I'm sorry, you cut out that last part there.
Oh, do you know how Broly's Key Blast works? His 5S.
Just the standard one where he throws out multiple beams. That one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So on the ground, right? If he's too, because he's so big, if
Mhm.
he's too, it goes over your head.
Oh, I actually didn't know that it flew over your head. Okay.
It flows over your head, so people don't use it in block stun.
Uh-huh.
But if a little bit farther, it doesn't. So I think they should make some, at least make Zamasu's 5S like. So if they're up close, he can't use it as like a pressure string. But if he's far, he gets to at least shoot it and hits crouchers.
Okay, that's right, because he does kind of just stand up and kind of perk himself up and shoot it like that, right? Or am I thinking of the wrong one?
In
Okay.
the air, whatever. But on the ground, too close, it goes over him. But I guess it's because he's so big.
Gotcha.
The main reason why that happens.
Okay.
Besides that, I guess the other characters, I think people have like pretty unanimous decisions about like what they think about them. But yeah, what did I say? I said Vegito, or a big one is Ginyu for sure. I definitely don't see buffs.
Ginyu, then we went over Vegito, Zamasu, or I'm sorry, Vegito, yes.
And 21, yeah,
21.
21.
Okay. That's all fair for all of that, I'd say. What else? Oh, I'm sorry. You know, it's been forever. I was thinking Android 18 for the the ball, and it actually worked in both situations. And I was like, oh yeah, I didn't know it did damage, but because she throws it out, I was thinking Android 18 with
Oh
the
yeah.
with the little orb. So damn,
Okay.
it's funny because it worked in both situations for the orb, but I was totally far off on that. So yeah, that actually makes more sense for that.
Yeah, that definitely does not do anything.
Okay. um, then I guess moving on from there. Oh, so what are your thoughts on people saying, and of course this is more probably your more casual people, people that don't look into the game as in depth or don't come from a long history of fighting games. I'm definitely one of those people. Um, but I feel that typically I'm pretty good about being able to analyze the game. And I think that it's really good with the way that they balanced it, where they made very, very slight tweaks to it. But of course, characters with the kit, as in fighting games, you can make small changes, such as the hard knockdown for Android 16 with his grab, where he would throw people down, and now it's not a hard knockdown anymore. They can tech out of that. And then same thing for his armor on his heavy, being able to knock him out of that now, since that was something else before. Do you think that it's better to make those really slight tweaks, or not give everybody like a 2L? Because I know people complain about that and say give everybody a 2L, but they don't always consider, well, what does Goku offer in regards to like a beam assist in comparison to adult Gohan and all of this other stuff, just not considering the full kits and things like that. So do you think that smaller changes are a lot better, even if they don't do it right, in comparison to a larger overhaul where maybe you overbuff and then have to come back? How would you rather have it?
Mm. But yeah, first of all, no, don't get it right. Absolutely, the most casual thing you can hear, and that is completely false. Some characters do not deserve it to all low, or they would. But on your main question,
Mhm.
it's kind of hard. I thought about balancing in fighting games for a long time.
Mhm.
I played a good amount of them. Some well, some not too well. But
So you mentioned Marvel. What else did you actually come from?
um, Marvel I played mostly casually.
Okay.
The big one is Guilty Gear. I played Guilty Gear
Ah,
for
okay.
that was the game that I went out to tournaments. Like my first time going to tournaments.
Okay.
Pretty well. I think that was beside Dragon Ball. That was probably my best game. I got a few top eights, but yeah, balancing. I think it depends on the game. To be honest,
Mhm.
uh, man, this is a hard question. So early in the game cycle, where
Yeah, we're 6 months, right? So.
6 months, I do like the small changes they're doing
Mhm.
because before when you go by A16 and a Gohan, they dropped a little bit, but they're still extremely strong characters. They
Yep.
just lost, quote unquote, like broken moves. But I guess, well, here's what I think. I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna slowly do these little tweaks, and then eventually they're gonna do a big overhaul for the game.
Okay.
If I would to pick, I would say I think the small tweaks. I, man, this is such a. I guess I think you have to break it down even more. I think I would say it had to be on a character basis where some characters could definitely get small tweaks, but
Mhm.
others they could try to experiment a little more and
Okay.
give a little bit more help or a little bit. I guess nerfs wouldn't be that good. I think it more would be more in lines of buffing characters.
Okay.
I think nerfs in this game would make it slightly more boring, in my opinion.
I could definitely see that. Oh, actually, still kind of going in line with that. Do you think that this game is, um, coming from someone that hasn't played a lot of fighting games, is actually one of the fastest games out there in comparison to other stuff, or do you think, like, as far as for pacing and tempo and all of that?
Hmm. I think. Well, if you ask anybody, you would say this is forever, right? But I guess in the mindset of you actually playing the game,
Mhm.
I'm quite fast, but it would because the game has its moments where it does get fast, but overall it's a more tame kind of fighting. If you look at somewhere like Marvel, right? So the comparison is Marvel, where you see characters that have like wave dashes, or you have like X Factor Virgil, or like MVCI Dante, you have Space Stone, or whatever. It's definitely slower than those games, I would say. But I mean, there's not too many games that are up to that speed. So if we're gonna make the big comparison for at least Marvel versus Capcom
Mhm.
versus Dragon Ball is definitely a slower game just because it's more tame, I would say, than those other games.
Okay. fair on that then. Let's see. Oh, as far as the worst character in your opinion that definitely needs some help for all of that, are you on the Beerus train with that, or where you fall? And do you think that he just needs a little bit of help with his current kit, or do you think that he actually needs something to be reworked entirely for something that he has? Not of course his entire kit, but changing a specific move to do something entirely different for him, or whoever that you think about. If it's not Beerus, then anybody else.
This is interesting. I think there are a few characters that definitely are not strong at all.
Okay.
I guess Beerus is a big one because Beerus has the really obvious problem of he falls to super dash like the most, right?
Mhm.
So the orbs get destroyed by super dash. Was it 3 or like 4 of his special moves are involved with the orbs?
Mhm.
All this super dash. So what I was suggesting, at least for Beerus, you should probably make the orbs have different properties on them. Like so, one of them will clash with a beam, or
Mhm.
like other one will beat a super dash or something like that, right?
Okay.
Don't think Beerus is the worst character in the game.
Okay.
I do think Krillin is definitely the worst character in the
Okay. Okay. I can see that.
game. Fair. Some people will disagree, but Krillin has less obvious issues. I guess the main issue is he's a tiny man,
Mhm.
normals, right?
Yep.
So first, obviously, the most blatant one is 2H, but he has other normals that are very unimpactful. Another big thing is his assists. So of course he has Sensu Bean, but the problem with that is he also is tied to rocks, which is considerably the worst. Well, not even considerably. It is the projectile. A lower, so you have beam, you have Key Blast, and you have rocks. Lower than Key Blast. It loses to normals. It loses to everything in the game, basically, and it's his assist. You know, it's not great. So you'll always see him run on point for the people for the wild people that run him on a team at all. Another big thing is he does have damage, but most of the teams that do run him with good damage have to run specific assists, like a Vegeta or a Beam. So his versatility with other characters is like very, very low. So I can go on with Krillin, but in my opinion, I think Krillin is the worst character in the game. I think Beerus has some good aspects, like his assist is pretty unique and it has decent utility, and his DHC or just a super in general is quite good because there's so many hits on the ball. So there's some interesting teams I've seen that utilize that as a DHC and have like super into super into super.
Sure. In the same way that you might see something with Zamasu from the air with
Yeah, right. So that's also a good thing to have. But Krillin, right? Krillin only has destruction, and he has level 3 that's pretty decent, but not also the best. So in my opinion, I think Krillin is still the worst character in the game.
Okay. I could see that. So, see, I know where you're going with this, though. What we actually need to do with Krillin is we need to actually have him go through puberty, actually have him spread out a little bit more. We'll keep his head.
Oh, he's already an adult. That's the problem.
We'll keep his head
If
and his body
Kid
the
Krillin,
same.
Kid Krillin would be actually the worst character of all time. Have you ever seen regular Dragon Ball?
I'm actually watching it now. I love it so much more than Dragon Ball Z and Super. The pacing on it and the progression is so good. I really like it. I just finished the tournament.
Dragon Ball is very unique. I love the. But Krillin is even smaller.
Yep.
He is a tiny man throughout his whole life. So there's no hope for him. We're gonna have to just give him a better tool set. There's no hope for him to grow. He's not teen.
We just need to make his limbs longer. His body can stay the same, but just make his limbs long, like when Fat Boo throws out his arm midair. We'll just give him limbs like that, and that's it.
He needs something. The problem is also it's just his tool. So again, with Beerus, you can mix and match with it, but I just don't know what I would do to make him like significantly better. It's just like his normals are gonna stay. You can make him a little better, but it's gonna look outrageous if he just starts.
He's gonna have that Gotenks. What is it? The Gotenks overhead.
2M.
Yeah.
Oh, It's
where he just swings down, and you're like, see that.
Oh yeah, that one.
Freeze frame it, and you can't even see him within range of you. But
that one is crazy. But yeah, Krillin. I don't know. I think Krillin is the worst. To be honest.
Well, we'll see what what they're able to do with that, Lord knows what they'll probably end up changing for all of that. But yeah, so I guess moving on to well, we can get into a little bit of Evo. Of course, unfortunately, you won't be there. You mentioned that you're going to be attending a bit more majors for all of that. How do you think that the brackets and everything are going to go? Do you have people that you would put in there for your top 3 or top 8 that we might not expect? Do you think it'll be the pretty standard people that we see like Sonic Fox, Goichi, maybe Hook Gang God, Dogura, and all of them?
So I didn't look at the bracket, so I can't really give you an outline of what
Okay.
I would have. I can at least give you, I can give you 8 people that I could say are likely to make it.
Okay.
So I guess the big four of Japan, I think I would very comfortably put them there, which is Goichi,
Mhm.
Kazuno, Dogura, Fenrich,
Okay.
um, Sonic Fox. So you got 5 right there,
5.
right?
Yep.
You got 3 slots left. I do think a lot of people also are speculating on this that Superboy, the Ginyu player, has a very good chance of getting top 8.
And
Especially,
he's from the States or?
no, the JP player.
Oh, the one. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, Shoei. He is quite an issue, especially in a place where, coming from the States, there's not a lot of Ginyu experience
Yep.
outside of like NOBC, right? So there is some Ginyu players, but at the level of what people are saying he is playing at and the people have viewed, he could be quite an issue for a lot of players. So I would he's gonna be my quote unquote dark horse. I guess I
You
wouldn't
beat me
really.
to it, but yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so that's 6, right? So we have the 4 JP, Superboy, Sonic Fox. Um, the other 2 big ones I would say would be, I guess I would put him into one slot because
Mhm.
I think or can make it would be the Kill Sage
Okay.
and so I guess you could put him as 8, but I'm trying to think if there's anyone else pretty pretty obvious pick.
So not Hook, just because of the maybe size of the tournament, and he's never had experience with something
Oh
that
no no
big.
no! I'm putting Kill Sage and Hook in
Oh,
like
I'm sorry, you cut off just a little
I
bit for
think
that.
one of them would be able to make it.
Okay.
I don't know if both of them. I guess Hulk would be favored over that. He's been placing really well,
Mhm.
but yeah, the evil factor could be an issue. Or if you run into somebody like I said, I didn't see the whole bracket lineup,
Mhm.
but somebody like a Superboy who plays a character that definitely could give him some issues.
Okay.
Maybe a different Japanese player like the guy. I think the Vegeta man, right? The Vegito Kibu Team Gohan player.
Okay.
Very solid. He might give Hulk some problems because we don't really have like a big Vegito player or a Team Gohan.
Yeah, I guess for that aspect of it, and don't forget your last pick for that. But it's kind of the reverse
Yeah.
thing as far as what happened with the Japanese players, seeing that they don't have Piccolo players over there. So Apology Man and of course Hook Gang gave them lots of problems, and it seems like they're probably adapting to it a little bit better. But it's kind of the reverse with Ginyu here, huh? Where they're Ginyu's big over there in Japan, and then as far as for really high level players, we don't have that here. So
Yeah. So players could definitely. That's the thing about Evo. There's so much that you don't know what to expect or what to see. It's kind of impossible to be ready for everything.
sure.
You just gotta be able to play your best and run your game plan. It's like kind of the golden rule of Evo, to make it
Yeah.
that far. Believe and just not just kind of adapt as best as you can. But last pick, I'm trying to think. Is anyone else? I mean, there's definitely a lot of good. Apology man. Um, there's still that player that you never know he could be
Hmm.
maybe a problem out there in the states for Evo. But
Nobody else
I,
that made it to like Summit or anything like that.
I think it covered most of the big. Unless maybe I'm missing somebody. I don't know.
The only other people, which of course this is just for my lack of knowledge, so I know there's like Nakiel, Reynold, you mentioned Apology Man, Super Noon. Did I already say him?
Oh yeah, Super New. I don't know.
I think
They're
those are probably the main ones.
they're all really good, but it's hard to put them over
Oh, and then Chris G, I guess that would be.
Chris G. Chris G can also. I'm gonna say Chris G if he's playing well. That's the thing.
That's fair.
Chris G playing well is extremely strong.
Hmm.
He is solid and he definitely locks locks down a lot of players that you wouldn't expect. Like he's probably the best. He's in the best so far against Hook. He's being hooked multiple times. So I guess I would have to go with if it's not Kill Sage and Hook, it would probably be 2 and Chris G is my top 8. So
I could definitely see that.
yeah, going over it's the 4. So Dogura, Kazunoko, Luichi, Benrich, Sonic, Chris G, Superboy, the Ginyu player from Japan, and then it could either be Hook or Kill Sage. It's like a 8 and 9.
That's fair. I could definitely see that for sure. Now, all right, be bold with me here a little bit. Who's actually going to win it? Who do you think's actually taking it?
Oh my god, this is the beauty. So here's the thing. The interesting thing about Dragon Ball FighterZ right now is there's so many players that are fighting for the number 1. So early on, right, Goichi's the god. Everybody is sure. But now you have so many players that have already beaten him, and then there's so many players that beaten the players that beaten him.
Yep.
It's such a toss-up. I'm gonna say.
Be bold. Give me a definite answer. We'll see what happens.
Definite answer. I'm gonna say it's Dogura's moment. I think Dogura's gonna take it.
Okay, he came up in the more recent one, making it to the grand finals there.
Dogura has had a few big shots, and he's been slowly climbing the ladder. I think this is Dogura's time. Like how CEO was Kazunoko's time.
Yeah.
I think this is another good pick. I think Sonic Fox. I think after the VS tournament, his new team is definitely gonna give some people a lot of issues. So if it's not Dogura, I'm the same pick. I would say Sonic.
That is actually something that I was considering as well. The fact that I believe I did it in terms of writing it down, he's played 8 to 10 characters, but not entirely different teams, because maybe he's had like Android 16 twice now, I believe, with his original hit team, and then now he's back to 16. Do you think that him switching up and being so efficient on everybody just so quickly is going to throw people off, or if they haven't played him recently and then they don't understand what he brings to it, if he brings like a unique flavor to how people are played and things like that?
So yeah, like I said, the Zamasu, the new Bardock Zamasu, it's very good. I've been running a slight variation there myself, just in case for patch issues. But yeah, it's definitely gonna cause some problems because this is a brand new team, right? And that was the tournament he ran it and he won. So like I said, I think he's gonna give a lot of problems for a lot of people. But I don't see him. He's gonna mix it up from that team. I think he's gonna play that team the whole way. But the thing about Dragon Ball FighterZ is because it has that slight ease of use, there's a lot of people, or I guess a huge majority of the people that play Dragon Ball FighterZ at a high level have swapped teams or like characters in and out like a lot. I'm one of them. Killsay just swapped a few teams already. Swapped a few times. Some players have stick pretty tried and true. I guess Hook, the only character he really changed was Goku Black into Cell.
That's right. Yeah.
Bruno's played the same team, I think, the whole way through.
Cell, Kid Buu, and who's around that?
Vegeta, yeah.
Vegeta, there you go.
That was the original broken team, but he's still sticking to it. I'm trying to think who else has been sticking to his teams. Chris G has swapped characters in and out, but I guess he swapped enough where I would say he's definitely in there. There's some players that stuck to their guns, but there's a lot more players that have swapped whole teams or just swapped a few characters. Like multiple times.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right. I guess that's more or less it for questions in regards to Evo and all of that. Unfortunately, since you're not there, those questions kind of go out the window a little bit in regards to who you were hopeful to play. But I guess in regards to at NLBC and things like that, who are you really looking to kind of come back and fight once the things kind of return to normal a little bit and finally get a shot at?
Oh man, I guess the big three that's.
Oh, you cut out a little bit right there. I'm sorry.
Oh, I guess the big three for me would probably be, or I guess big four.
Yeah.
Back after the summer, which is summer. The big four, I guess, would have to be Sonic, Sage, Double L, and Hook. Like those that have beaten me enough times where I haven't gotten to win NLBC. I've been in grand finals, so those 4 people have beaten me.
Double L actually made that list. That's actually a little surprising.
Yeah.
I did see that.
Beat me once. I have beaten him more times, but he beat me at the moment that mattered. So
yeah,
I definitely back with the Ginyu knowledge in at least beat him. Hopefully in grand finals, like regardless, those are the 4 people I'm always looking at every NXT. Everybody else, it's like as long as I stay solid, I think I can pretty much take out everybody else. Those 4 players always give me issues.
All right, yeah, no, best of luck to you. Definitely for now's your time to actually shine for everything. So double L, as you mentioned, you got all that knowledge and everything else, and then I'm sure you could probably take the game off of Hook and all of them when the time's right and all of that. So just keep at it.
Yeah, I beat all of them except Sonic. I haven't played Sonic. At least go for it. But I beat Hook, I beat Sage, and I beat Double O. But just not at that grand final, sadly. But I can beat them. It's just gotta beat them consistently. That's what matters. But also I'll be at a few majors. The majors I'm gonna be at is Summer Jam, which is in August.
Okay.
I'll be at Sea Otaku, which is September. They're all late too, so they're all late August. October I'll be at the ECT, East Coast Throwdown. I'm forgetting one major. I keep forgetting, and I'm gonna try to go to Mexico for the Dragon Ball event.
Let's go. Okay, man, they're huge on their Dragon Ball, aren't they? Having those parties and all of that other stuff.
I'm surprised there hasn't been a lot of American players that.
Oh, you're probably gonna run into them whenever you go. So.
Yeah, there might be someone out there that surprises me. I'm gonna try to make it to all 4 of those tournaments, and then a few more. Like I said, I'm trying to make it to a major for the rest, 1 major a month for the rest of the year. Since I'm not going to Evo, I'm gonna have the funds.
Solid. Well, fair enough. I guess final question for all of this: is there a main character that you actually want to see added? Unless your main character is already added. If not, then is there any specific special request or intro or outro? What do you call them? The dramatic finishes that you actually would want to see in the game?
So the 2 characters I wanted in the game that got added in the game, which Asu was ready in the game. But I do have some characters I do want to see in the game. Which one of them is a huge long shot that probably won't happen. The other one is like, from what I've been hearing from the Dragon Ball Illuminati, is Hiroshi for season 2.
That would be really cool, actually. I would love.
I've been hearing that he is almost guaranteed for season 2, but you never know. The rumors are always around. The other character I definitely want to see is Launch, but long forgotten in Dragon Ball, so I don't think she'll make it.
Hey, very recent for me, so I'm watching Dragon Ball. So. Now, of course, see what that would be interesting for that is if they kept her in her normal form for fighting, and then her super was actually her sneezing, and like she pulls out pepper, throws it on herself, and then she like goes off on people with her machine gun or something like that.
She's the original Super Saiyan. She had hair before even Goku.
I didn't even think about that. That's actually.
She's the original Super Saiyan. I wish that the creator has long forgotten her, which is not fun.
I think what was the last scene? I remember her getting drunk in a bar because she thought the world was ending for the Saiyans, I think.
Oh yeah,
something like that. So.
Yeah. I might have to go back and watch Dragon Ball. I love that series. Such a good series. But anything else?
Yeah, if anything else is on your mind, or if you wanted to get into another topic, go for it.
I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anybody else I would want to see. A lot of the characters that I like have made it into the game, right? It's just whether they're good or not, right? So I would like Frieza to be really good. My original team, which was like in the JP private beta, was 18 Piccolo Frieza, and that team is definitely not good right now. I would definitely not try to go throwback into that team.
Was that more of your feels over Real's team, going more for, hey, these are the people that I really enjoy and really like and all of that?
Yeah, so it was the first ever open beta. Well, not even open beta, for the game ever. The characters were limited, so I'm like, let me just rock the characters I like. So and it was fun. It was actually a pretty decent team. And not all 3 of those characters. 18 definitely got nerfed over time, if that I remember. And then Piccolo had a completely different assist.
Oh, okay.
His assist in the closed beta was actually Demon Elbow, and it was quite cheap.
That actually sounds interesting. Did it actually do the cross up, or was it kind of like Ginyu, where he comes out and kind of just does the was it the Jersey, whatever it is?
Jersey tackle.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't a cross up, but so they had to change that for. I think the reason was if you called an assist against him, he would hit you in the assist.
Oh.
He was quite obnoxious. It was not It was not a good look for the game for him to have that.
Huh, that's actually really interesting for that. Imagine where
Yeah.
he would be now with everybody else picking him.
Yeah, it's such a it was such a I remember because I would just call it out, and then let's say it had Goku Beam, Piccolo would hit both of them, and I would get a combo. My baby combo that knew I play the game, but yeah, I definitely want. That's another big thing though. I do want. I wish he was a lot better than he was.
Hmm.
It's I'm pretty happy how the characters are out and how the game is progressing. It's always fun. I think it's just getting better.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the game's still super young in regards to
Yeah.
being an esport and all of that other stuff. So, but I mean, it's definitely fun seeing all the people come up. Have you actually ever been sponsored before, like before this for any other games?
I had a small sponsor at the time, but the sponsor I'm with right now is not Fnatic. I just have
Yeah, don't worry.
coming up,
I'll edit that part out. I'll just put a big old like picture that isn't obviously. No, I'm just kidding.
nah, you can leave it. Honestly, they let me. But yeah, Price Stark's been pretty good for me. Been able to travel out to a decent amount more tournaments than I had in the past.
Nah,
So
I mean that's great. Yeah,
trying to just keep growing. Hopefully, I can make it at least my part-time job. So it's gonna be fun.
yeah. Actually, sorry, one more thing if you got a second. In regards to fighters, why do you think that this has been, for what it feels like? I mean, I'm sure there's probably other games that this happened to. It's such like a melting pot for everybody. People coming from other system games and all of that, from Marvel, even from Street Fighter and all other stuff. Do you think that it's Dragon Ball as the franchise and that's why people have flocked to it? Or do you think it's more them actually taking the time and not making it like a Budokai and all of that other stuff?
I think there's a few reasons. The one thing, yeah, it is Dragon Ball, so it's pretty big to have the name Dragon Ball
Mhm.
attached to it. But another big thing I would say is definitely the failure of MBCI. MBCI definitely put people made a lot of people sad, especially me. I it was in my opinion, I think it was a very horrible game. Well, it was missing that void of like a really good team game. So it kind of like it dragged all the Marvel players that at least wanted to try the game.
Mhm.
And yeah, so yeah, definitely Dragon Ball, the name Dragon Ball. I care a lot of, I guess not failures because Street Fighter Five is doing really good now, but
Yeah.
you got tired of Street Fighter Five, so a whole new IP. So everybody think like, damn, this Dragon Ball is gonna be big. It's a new IP. You never know. It could be really good.
Yeah.
So that's another big thing. I think it brought a lot of people together because it's brand new and it's big. It's a lot of there's a lot of, but yeah, a lot of things went right for Dragon Ball Fighters, regardless of how people feel the game plays.
Mhm.
Definitely, definitely picked the perfect time to release a game like this.
Oh yeah, definitely for all of that. Okay, well, I guess that's more or less it. If you want to have any shout outs or make any plugs in the outro, feel more than free to give a shout out.
Yeah, I guess. Shout out to Pride Stark, my current sponsor right now. Shout out to New Jersey. New Jersey always doing good in Dragon Ball. We have you just said you talked to Lord Knight earlier.
Yep.
Uh, we obviously have Hook. We have other strong enemy players like Grover. I don't know if you know Grover. He also plays Dragon Ball a little bit, plays some BB Tag.
Okay.
Yeah, shouts to Price Stark, shouts to Jersey, shouts to you. I hope this continues on and you bring a whole bunch of other players. Maybe get a group chat eventually.
That's actually a plan, yeah. Having 3 to 4 people. I'm sure that would be hectic as hell, but I think it would probably be really fun.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I think Dragon Ball needs. There's a few things that other fighting games have that Dragon Ball needs outside of the game, and
Sure.
this is one.
Well, that's actually exactly why I was
Lastly,
wanting to get onto
thank you,
that.
thank you for doing this. This is pretty dope. I hope this continues on.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, I'll make sure to put your stream down in the bottom as well as Twitter. If you want to make a shout out to those real quick, then you can, just so people know.
Oh yeah. So I'm trying to keep everything because everything right now is NicoMaki DBZ. It's NicoMaki DBZ for Twitch and for Twitter. Those are the two things I'm really using right now. So no need to follow me on anything else.
All right, then. Well, thanks for coming on by again. Thanks for everybody who tuned on into the first episode. We'll definitely be keeping this up, and we'll catch you guys next time.